What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Patrick here. Moving on to the next question. So you are a real estate agent that receives a 3.8% commission. You made $67,032 after tax this year, and you're in a 28% tax bracket. And then based on that scenario, we have two questions here. How much tax did you pay? Then number two, what dollar amount of real estate did you sell? Now, just to kind of show you what's going on here from a higher level, before we get into the numbers, what's happening is you're selling real estate, so you're going to have some dollar amount of sales. And this is actually the second question that we're going to be solving. We have to figure this amount out. Now, from the total amount of sales you make in dollar terms, 3.8% of that you receive as a commission. Now, this commission that you receive, you have to pay taxes on that, right? So this here is going to be before taxes. And so a portion of this commission is going to be taxed. And so what you're going to be left with is the after-tax amount. That's the amount that you can take home. And so we're told that this amount here, this after-tax amount, is $67,032. This is the amount that we're given over here. And we're also told that you're in a 28% tax bracket. So the amount of taxes that you're paying on this commission here is going to be 28%. Now, what that means, if you're paying 28% of these commissions as taxes, how much are you left with? Well, 100 minus 28% would give you 72%. So from this commission that you make, you get to keep 72% of that, 28% of that goes to the government. And so number one is asking, what is this amount? This is number one. And then number two is asking, what is this amount? And so really what we have to do is just work our way from this dollar amount to get these two. So from here, because we have this percentage, what we can do is we can figure out what the commission is before taxes. And then once we have the commission before taxes, we can figure out what the tax on that is. It's going to be 28% of that. And then also, once we have that, we can figure out what this is going to be because we have the commission percentage of 3.8%. So step one is to find the commission before taxes. So the commission before taxes multiplied by 72%, 0.72, or 1 minus the tax, right? 1 minus 0.28, same thing as 0.72. That's another way you might see this question or a question like this shown. The commission before tax times 0.72 gives us the commission after tax. How much you take home. Now we know the commission after tax. It's $67,032. That's what we're given. This is still 0.72. And then this commission before tax we're solving, so let's put a variable x there. And so x is basically going to equal 67,032 over 0.72. Or you might see this again shown, maybe in some textbooks, as 67,032 divided by 1 minus the tax rate, 0.28. I kind of wanted to break it down like this first, as I feel it's a bit more intuitive. So we're dividing just by 0.72. Whichever way you go about it. And when you do that, you'd end up with $93,100. So that's this amount over here. Okay, so $93,100 is the commission that you have received, but that's the before tax amount. That's before you get taxed. And so now that we have that, what we can do is figure out what is the taxes that we are going to pay. So the taxes is going to be the before tax commissions times the tax rate that you're paying, 28%, so 0.28. And when you multiply these, you'd end up with $26,068. Okay, so that there represents the amount of tax that you're going to pay, and that's also the answer to question 1. Now, question 2 is asking us, what is this dollar amount of sales? What's the total amount of real estate that you sold? And to get that, so this is number 1, to get that, we're also going to be using this 93,100, just we're going to be going up this way. So basically, using this, the sales, times 0.038, 3.8% of that is going to be your commission before tax. And we know what this is, 93,100. We got 0.038. And then we're solving for the sales over here. Let's call it, you know what, let's just write out sales. So divide both sides by 0.038. And so what are we going to end up with? Sales would end up being 2.45 million, 2,450,000. So that's the answer to number 2. So that's the amount of real estate you got to sell in order to get 93,100 if your commission rate is 3.8%. And from that, if you're paying a 28% tax, $26,068 is the amount of tax you're going to pay. And so you're going to be left with $67,032. You could check this by adding these two, and it would add up to that amount. So if you get a question like this, I'd recommend maybe making a diagram just so you see from a higher level first what's going on before getting into the actual algebra.